Alright, we have Intelight X3 TS2 controller, and as you can see, I'm connected to the MaxTime web server for this controller, and I'm also connected to the TS2 virtual cabinet to work with this controller. As you can see from the TS2 virtual cabinet, I did put constant call on from phase 1 to phase 8, and right now the controller is circulating between those phases, and currently it's serving green time on phase 1 and phase 5, and once it's finished doing the minimum green time, I'm going to take out call from phase 1 and 5, and what is going to happen is going to gap out to phase 2 and 6 since there is no call on phase 1 and 5. So right now the controller is serving the minimum green time on phase 2 and 6, and we're going to wait for about 17 seconds to force off this from phase 2 and 6 to phase 4 and 8. Sorry, from phase 2 and 6 to phase 3 and 7, and 3, 2, 1, 0, it's gonna go from yellow to red, and then green time on phase 3 and 7. So it's serving the minimum green time. So if we as you can see, there is constant vehicle coming on phase 3 and phase 7. So what we're gonna do is gonna take out the call from 3 and 7 and let it go to gap out. So it's gapped out, and since there is no call on demand on 3 and 7, it's serving the phase 4 and phase 8, and there is also a constant call on phase 4 and 8. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also gap out these 4 phases, and it's in green extension time. First I'm gonna gap out phase 4, and then again, sorry, I took out the call from phase 4 and then phase 8. So both of them gapped out, and it's going to go back to 2 and 6 to maintain the coordination, even though we are in the 1 and 5 phases window, but it's not gonna serve that because there is no vehicle coming in from 1 and 5. So I'm gonna put call on phase 4 and 8, and also I'm gonna put call on 3, 7 and 1 and 5 to again let them circulate between those phases, and it's gonna take about 27 seconds to force off from phase 2 and 6 to the next phase. If we take out call from phase 2 and 6, it's not gonna make any difference because the controller is trying to maintain the coordination on phase 2 and 6. So anyway, I'm gonna put the call in there. Okay, so we did the gap out. So let's 3 and 7 again. We're going to take out the call from 3 and 7. That means there is no demand on 3 and 7. Even after serving the minimum green, it's going to gap out, and it's going to go to phase 4 and 8. And I'm going to do the gap out for phase 4 and 8 too. Let it serve the minimum green time, and then once it's in the green extension time, I'm going to take out the call from phase 4 and 8 and let it gap out. Alright, let's take out the call from phase 4 and 8. So on the next, it's going to go to 1 and 5. going to take out the call from 1 and 5, and I'm going to also let it go gap out. So right now it's maintaining the green time on 2 and 6. On the next step, I'm gonna put call on phase 3 and 7 as well as phase 4 and 8. Then, but this time I'm gonna do the force off in those phases. So once, let's take out the call from phase 2 and 6, and we did put call on phase 3, 7 and also 4 and 8, and this time we're gonna let it force off. That means we're not gonna take out the call. We're gonna put constant call, and we're gonna let it serve the max time and then go force off. So about 5 seconds later, it's gonna go to phase 3 and 7. As you can see, it's on 3 and 7. What I'm gonna do is force off these phase 3 and 7 and also force off the phase 4 and 8. So I'm not gonna take out the call this time.